Welcome to the Deep Dive podcast channel. Have you ever really stopped to think that a simple feeling, something like thankfulness, could actually be doing some really deep work inside you, especially when things feel, well, difficult?
That's exactly what we're getting into today.
Yeah.
We're diving deep into the psychology behind gratitude, looking at how it connects really intricately to healing and emotional resilience.
Right.
It's so much more than just, saying thank you. It seems to be a pretty fundamental process, mind and body, and especially important for people who've navigated some tough experiences.
And we've got a psychology expert with us to really help unpack all of this. It's fascinating stuff. And hey, if you find these kinds of deep dives helpful, please do think about subscribing so you catch future ones. We also genuinely love hearing your thoughts in the comments. So, okay, let's start with the science bit. Gratitude, it's not just a nice feeling, is it? There's biology here.
Oh, absolutely. It's a full-body experience, you could say. It's kind of hardwired into our nervous system. When we feel or express genuine gratitude, it actually triggers a whole cascade of neurochemicals in the brain.
Okay, let's dig into that then. We're talking dopamine, serotonin, the usual suspects maybe. What's their specific role?
Exactly. Those are key players. Dopamine, often called the brain's reward signal,
Mm-hmm.
that gets released. And it's strongly linked to feelings of optimism, motivation. At the same time, serotonin kicks in, contributing to that feeling of calm and contentment.
Okay.
And what's really interesting is if you experience gratitude regularly, it seems you can actually strengthen the neural pathways for these feelings.
But wait, our brain actually learns to be more grateful with practice, like exercise.
Precisely. Think neuroplasticity. The brain's amazing ability to reorganize itself, form new connections.
Right, rewiring itself.
Yeah, all through life.
Yeah.
So if, say, difficult experiences have carved out certain pathways, maybe linked to anxiety, feeling helpless, that kind of thing, well, consistently practicing gratitude can help build new routes, different pathways, ones that reinforce feeling safe, feeling present. It's almost like a mental renovation.
A mental renovation. I like that. Actively building new roads through thankfulness. And there's actual brain scan evidence for this.
Yes, there is. fMRI studies, functional MRI, they've shown that people who practice gratitude regularly tend to have increased activity in the anterior cingulate cortex. That's a key region for emotional processing.
Okay.
And what's more, these practices can help regulate the amygdala, the brain's sort of emotional alarm center.
Which can be overactive after trauma. Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
So this helps with better emotional regulation and maybe processing difficult memories a bit more gently.
But it's really important to stress, isn't it, that gratitude isn't about erasing those difficult memories. It's about adding something else.
That is such a crucial point.
Yes.
Gratitude doesn't make the past hurt disappear. What it does is cultivate space, inner space, where positive growth can happen alongside those experiences. It adds dimension rather than trying to delete things.
Okay, so how does this connect to the actual, the feeling of emotional healing?
Well, healing in this sense isn't about making pain vanish. It's more about creating enough internal room so the pain doesn't dominate everything,
Yeah.
Gratitude can be a tool for that. It helps soften the edges of suffering, but without suppressing it, without pushing it away.
And for someone who's experienced trauma specifically, how does gratitude offer a pathway? Because trauma can make connection feel so hard.
That's exactly it. Trauma often fragments our sense of being in the present moment. It can leave you feeling disconnected from your body, your surroundings. Gratitude acts like an anchor. It gently pulls you back to the here and now. And those moments of reconnection, even tiny ones at first, they're vital when trauma keeps pulling you back into the past or into threat responses.
You mentioned the nervous system earlier, too. Can you expand on how gratitude interacts there?
Sure. When we feel genuine gratitude, it sends signals of safety to our nervous system. It helps shift the balance away from the fight or flight sympathetic system
Right, the stress response.
towards the rest and digest parasympathetic system. Even small, consistent moments of thankfulness can nudge that balance. And over time, these little micro shifts build up. They create a stronger foundation of feeling safe in your own body.
It's like recalibrating your internal alarm system little by little.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
And that has knock-on effects for our emotional patterns. Trauma can lock people into these negative loops, fear, shame, whatever it might be. Gratitude can interrupt those loops. It broadens your awareness, nudges your focus from just what's wrong to also include what's actually okay right now, what's still good.
That sounds a lot like ideas from positive psychology, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Positive psychology isn't just about fixing what's wrong. It's about understanding what makes life feel meaningful and worth living. and gratitude. It's pretty central to that field.
Because it's seen as a skill we can develop,
Hmm?
not just a personality thing you either have or don't.
Exactly that. Gratitude isn't fixed. It's a skill you can practice and strengthen. And the research there is quite compelling. Studies show that regularly focusing on what you're grateful for leads to, well, sustained increases in happiness and noticeable decreases in depressive symptoms.
It's kind of empowering, isn't it, that something seemingly small can have that kind of impact.
Hmm.
Okay, let's talk about cognitive reframing. How does gratitude work as a mental shift?
Right. So cognitive reframing basically is about consciously changing how you interpret a situation, how you think about it. Gratitude is a very gentle way to do this. It doesn't ask you to pretend things aren't difficult, but it does gently prompt the question, okay, this is hard, and what else is also true right now?
So it's about widening the lens, seeing more than just the struggle.
Precisely. And for people dealing with trauma, this needs to be handled very carefully, very gently. Gratitude should never feel forced, never like it's dismissing real pain.
No, that would be counterproductive.
Totally. Instead, it can be like a small, non-threatening doorway, a way to start acknowledging the complexity. So someone might hold the reality of a terrible past event and also notice, say, the feeling of their breath right now, or maybe a moment of wonder, or a small kindness someone showed them.
Finding those little glimmers, even when it's mostly dark.
Yes. And on maybe a deeper level, gratitude can help in transforming suffering into meaning. When we can find things to appreciate, even tiny things amid adversity, it helps us reclaim our own story, find some purpose maybe. Think Viktor Frankl's work on meaning making. Gratitude can be a lifeline there.
This brings up something really crucial, though, the difference between real thankfulness and, well, maybe performative gratitude, forced positivity.
Oh, that is such an important distinction, especially today, with the culture sometimes pushing relentless positivity.
Right, the good vibes only thing.
Exactly. And there's a real danger there, what people call toxic positivity, where the pressure to just be grateful invalidates real suffering. It becomes a mask, a way to bypass difficult emotions, not actual medicine.
So what does the real deal, authentic gratitude, actually feel like then? How do we know?
Authentic gratitude is, it's felt deeply, genuinely. It's not something you put on for others. It often bubbles up unexpectedly, doesn't it? Maybe in a quiet moment or when you connect with someone.
Yeah.
And it can be about the simplest things.
Yeah.
Really simple. The warmth of your socks on a cold day, the comforting cup of tea, hearing someone laugh.
Yeah.
It's rooted in just being present, noticing the small gifts.
It sounds much more internal, less like putting on a show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we also absolutely have to acknowledge for people who live through trauma, cultivating gratitude can be really, really hard. It doesn't always come easily or feel natural.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're carrying all that weight, the idea of feeling thankful might seem completely out of reach, maybe even offensive.
And that's a totally understandable response. Trauma often shatters our basic sense of trust and safety in the world and others, even in ourselves. Gratitude, well, it requires a certain openness, doesn't it? A vulnerability to receive and appreciate.
Which feels dangerous if you've learned vulnerability leads to pain.
Precisely. Trauma teaches that openness can be risky.
Hmm.
So trying to force gratitude too soon or too intensely, it can really backfire. It can feel invalidating or unsafe.
So the approach needs to be super gentle, patient.
Incredibly so, yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of pushing for big feelings of gratitude, it's often more helpful to see it as something that unfolds slowly, like watching a flower bud open. You wouldn't pry it open, right?
No.
You give it the right conditions, warmth, light, water, and let it open in its own time. For survivors, this might mean starting incredibly small, acknowledging one single breath, noticing a pleasant color, recognizing a moment where things feel just slightly calmer.
Those tiny little seeds.
Exactly. And the way we practice doesn't have to be some big formal thing either.
You mean it's not all about keeping a detailed gratitude journal every single day?
Not at all. Journaling is great for some people, definitely. Writing down, say, 1 to 3 things you're grateful for, maybe focusing on the feeling that comes with it. That's powerful. But there are loads of other ways. You can speak gratitude aloud, even just whisper it, feel it silently on a walk. The key is finding something that resonates with you and doing it with intention, consistently but gently.
You mentioned somatic anchors before. How can we actually use our bodies to connect with gratitude?
Right. Somatic anchors mean consciously noticing where you feel gratitude in your body. When you do feel even flicker of it, pause. Pay attention to the physical sensation. Is it warmth in your chest? a lightness, a grounded feeling.
Uh-huh.
And then you can sort of breathe into that area, gently allowing the sensation to be there, maybe even expand a little. It connects the feeling to your physical self.
That sounds like a really embodied, grounded way to experience it.
It really is. And just using our senses can be a gateway too. Taking a moment to really notice things, the way light looks, the smell you like, the texture of your jumper. It pulls you into the present, and appreciation can arise from that sensory input.
And what about expressing gratitude in our relationships with other
Oh,
people?
that's huge. Expressing genuine appreciation to people in our lives, it builds trust. It fosters co-regulation, that mutual calming effect on our nervous systems. It deepens connection,
Yeah.
and it reaffirms safety in those relationships. Simple, sincere thank yous or acknowledgments can go a very long way.
It sounds like gratitude, when it's approached in this authentic, gentle way, can be a really powerful thread for reconnecting with ourselves, others, the present moment.
That's a beautiful way to put it, yes. With consistent, compassionate practice, gratitude can become almost like a daily homecoming, a return to the truth that even when things are hard, there's still beauty, still goodness to be found. It becomes a kind of ritual of presence, a bridge back towards safety, and ultimately, a foundation for hope.
So it's not the magic wand, maybe, but it's a steady, subtle revolution in how we relate to our lives.
Exactly. It won't erase the past or magically fix everything, but it offers a new relationship with the present. It invites us to witness what's alive and whole, not just what feels broken. It's a quiet acknowledgement that even now, life has something to offer.
That's really powerful. As we start to wrap this up, what's maybe one tiny thing you'd invite our listeners to consider today?
Hmm. Maybe just this. Could you bring to mind one small thing, however simple, that you might feel even a tiny flicker of appreciation for right now? Just take a moment with it. Notice it. And maybe, just maybe, see if noticing that one thing shifts your perspective, even just a tiny bit.
That's a lovely invitation. Now, we know listening to this might spark some questions, especially about gratitude when life feels really tough. So we've gathered a few common ones we hear.
Yeah, a frequent one is it actually possible to feel grateful while I'm also feeling anxious or depressed?
Right. Can they coexist?
Absolutely, yes.
Hmm.
Emotions are complex. They mix. They coexist. Gratitude doesn't cancel out anxiety or sadness. It just means another feeling is also present in the mix. It adds a layer.
Okay. And another big one. Can practicing gratitude really change my brain? Like physically?
The science strongly suggests yes. Consistent practice does seem to stimulate those reward centers we talked about, dopamine, serotonin. And it encourages neuroplasticity, that rewiring process. Over time, this can genuinely contribute to shifts in mood and resilience.
What if I honestly just don't feel grateful for anything right now? What then?
That happens, and it's okay. On those days, the advice is always, start incredibly small. Forget big things. Can you appreciate a warm drink, a comfortable chair, the fact that you took a deep breath just now? Even that counts. It's about the act of looking, gently.
And does it have to be journaling? Is that the only way?
Oh, definitely not. Journaling helps many people, but it's not the only path. Speaking it aloud, sharing it with someone, just taking moments of quiet reflection, those are all valid ways. Find what feels right and sustainable for you.
This one feels really important. Does gratitude replace therapy, especially if you're dealing with trauma?
No. Emphatically no. It's so crucial to be clear here. Gratitude is a wonderful complementary tool, an addition, but it is absolutely not a replacement for professional therapy, especially for trauma. Therapy provides the skilled support and safe space needed to process deep wounds. Gratitude can support that journey, but it doesn't replace it.
Okay. And finally, can these practices sometimes feel triggering for trauma survivors?
Unfortunately, yes, they sometimes can, which is why the gentle, self-compassionate approach is paramount. No pressure. If trying to feel grateful brings up difficult feelings or feels overwhelming, it is perfectly okay to stop, step back, maybe try later, or try something much, much smaller. Listen to your system.
Okay, so to kind of pull all this together from our conversation today.
Gratitude emerges as this really powerful companion, doesn't it? On the healing journey. It's not a magic cure-all, but its benefits seem pretty wide-ranging, influencing the brain, grounding the body, offering moments of reconnection, helping with regulation, fostering restoration. So whether you're healing from significant challenges or just looking to cultivate a bit more joy, gratitude can be this gentle, persistent thread-weaving connection back into life.
Thank you. We really hope this deep dive into the psychology of gratitude has given you some valuable things to think about. If you found it helpful, we'd love it if you subscribe to the Deep Dive podcast channel for more discussions like this one. And please do share your own thoughts or experiences in the comments. We really value hearing from you. Thank you so much for joining us today. We encourage you to perhaps explore gently how even those small moments of gratitude might subtly shift things for you and contribute to your well being.